Before we continue with this video, I want to remind you that you can secure your spot, man. Flamengo really needs you. You can secure your spot for this game. There's still time, right? Flamengo and Palmeiras, check it out. A hospitality package with the ticket included. Start planning your trips to Rio de Janeiro with Haroldo's Caravan. They provide this hospitality package so you can secure your spot with accommodation, transportation, and a ticket in Rio de Janeiro, so get in touch with them. And I want to remind you that there's the Champions League. There are several other packages that Haroldo's Caravan offers you, and you won't have any negative surprises, only positive ones, okay? And I also invite you to check out the My Slim program from Mais Cabello, so you can lose weight in a healthy way with Mais Cabello, and of course, take care of your scalp, right? They also have the program, the new product Exo Mais, which is spectacular, and you have the coupon Mais 10 to use. It's all here in the description and always on the channel as well. Pinned comment on YouTube, okay? So we're here reminding you that you can also check it out. AIP Florida is the insurance broker that will serve you in the best possible way. The most award-winning in Florida, my friend Anna, who does fantastic work in Florida when it comes to insurance, okay? Roll the intro. Hello, Flamengo fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you just arrived, please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe below. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell and leave that awesome like on the video. I'm going to get started right away, okay? Bringing you important transfer market news. My friends, look, Coluna just posted an article from GE, and we talked yesterday about the situation with Danilo, right? From Botafogo, who is being targeted by Flamengo and Palmeiras, okay? And look at what Coluna brought here, even asking if there's a spot, okay? For Flamengo fans, yeah, I reposted them here, take a look. Flamengo and Palmeiras have shown interest in Danilo, and the player has asked not to play in the Brasileirão for Botafogo anymore, okay? He asked not to play anymore. The player, who already has 12 matches in the competition, is prioritizing a move to a top-tier European team, but he could transfer to either of the two clubs, Flamengo or Palmeiras. Yeah, under the new rule, players can't have more than 12 matches to switch teams within the country. Yeah, so GE is confirming that he's considering a move to Flamengo or Palmeiras. The information I have for you is that Flamengo's management is really trying to sign him, but they think the amount Botafogo is asking for is too high. I also talked to a source, bro. The management has contacts at Palmeiras, and Botafogo is also asking a high price from Palmeiras. But Palmeiras has in its favor the recent Barbosa deal, and Botafogo prefers to negotiate Danilo. If they're going to negotiate within Brazilian football, they prefer to sell abroad. But if it's within Brazil, they'd rather not negotiate with Flamengo. So Flamengo, in this case, is at a disadvantage because of the rivalry in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, the important thing for us to mention is that the player's wife, as we already reported yesterday, it's confirmed the player's wife wants to remain in Rio de Janeiro. If they're going to stay in Brazil, she wants to stay in Rio de Janeiro, okay? So when it comes to the family, Flamengo has the advantage. But when it comes to the club, Botafogo, Palmeiras has the advantage because they don't want to strengthen a rival from Rio de Janeiro. And the amounts are considered high by both Flamengo and Palmeiras management. So it's tough for both the Brazilian and international markets. Many clubs have already shown interest, and we know that the player's preference is actually to transfer abroad. So, man, it's a very hard deal to pull off, but Flamengo fans are reacting positively. Many fans are asking for the signing. People are already saying Flamengo has some midfielders who aren't doing well. De La Cruz doesn't play on artificial turf. He's always injured. Saul hasn't done well, right? A lot of fans are asking, right? Yeah, Yuri Roberto said he won't come simply because he's at Botafogo. No player from there would come straight here. I also think it's difficult, okay? Yeah, they don't have it. They don't have money, but there's the rivalry issue in Rio de Janeiro. I also think it's very difficult, but Flamengo keeps trying, keeps believing. And we had Lucas Paquetá arriving, Alexandre arriving, walking normally, okay? Flamengo's arrival in the early morning, players arriving, walking normally, okay? Just to let you know, they walked normally. So it's very important, at least for us, to think about these next games, right? There's Libertadores and the Brasileirão, and especially the head-to-head clash against Palmeiras. The concern is because there was also a tackle on Alexandre's shin that wasn't talked about much, right? A very serious tackle on Alexandre's shin, but at least we know the situation. Look at that, the tackle on Alexandre too. Look at this, guys. That's just absurd. His foot was on the ground. Look at that. He could have fractured it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Klein and the VAR. This is really an operation against Flamengo. This is a disgrace, okay? This is a disgrace. And then we see, right? Look at how Paqueta's shin turned out. Look at that. And then the player has to put on a bandage because he's in pain and everything. Yeah, we're really shocked. But Angelo Furtado was at the airport. He recorded their arrival. Now, what will he need to do to make a call or give a card against the other team in the match against Flamengo? When it's Flamengo, the whole media is against Flamengo. Everyone is always against Flamengo. Have you noticed? They demand that a card has to be given when it's in Flamengo's favor. When it's against Flamengo, my friend, it's an uproar. The guys are... This media disgusts me. This biased media disgusts me, okay? Look at this, man. Look at Paqueta arriving. Look there. Look, Paqueta. Just look. With the bandage, okay? I'm even going to zoom in to try to show you here. Hold on. I'm going to zoom in a little here. Look. At least he's walking normally. But man, that's sad, isn't it? So sad. Man, Flamengo, man, they helped the guy recover and he already gets hit there. That could have taken him out of the World Cup. It could have fractured his leg. Man, that's shameful. Man, the referee was, bro, it's so unacceptable. What makes it even more unacceptable is that the referee was right there, man. The referee was right there. Look, he sees it. He looks at the play. He looks, Klein, he looks. He stops the play. He's watching the tackle on Paqueta's shin. That could have broken, fractured his leg. Same thing as with Alexandro on the shin too. Now, it's Flamengo who ends up with one less player, like Boto said, right? Flamengo is the one who finishes with one less player. It's shameful, isn't it? And we were here, man, to bring you Canal Bravo TV. Yeah, Canal Bravo TV bringing a poll here. Does Rossi deserve to go to the bench, right? I think that's totally crazy. Totally crazy. For me, Rossi has a lot of credit. Okay? He's directly responsible for the Libertadores title, the fourth one, man. Casio stayed, saving penalties, making incredible saves in the Libertadores. He's going to make mistakes. That's what Rossi himself said, right? Yeah, that even the best make mistakes. Yeah, man, the poll had over 7,100 responses. I even accepted the collab to show you guys that, yes, 29% no, 71%. In other words, 71% still trust Rossi and say that it's a total blowout, right? That he deserves to be the starter, right? Yeah, DJ Luca said bench no, but he needs to wake up. He really messed up in 2 games in a row. Yeah, Chunico Davila replied, never. Rossi is the man. I agree. I replied, I agree. Everyone makes mistakes. Yeah. Samurai Rubro Negro, not yet. I don't think so yet, no. But Andrew doesn't even take turns with him once in a while. It's tough. Yeah, Andrew doesn't get a chance. Me, that's a whole different story, okay? But for me, Rossi still has a lot of respect. Red and black blood, Rubro Negro. Yeah. Whoa. The profile admin is from before. Has to be. The blood is the guys. No, the guys talk about Flamengo, but they're just running the poll there. Yeah, Gil Jimenez made a mistake, but then he redeemed himself with the saves. I agree. Even though Leonardo Jardim said the saves didn't count because the play was irregular, but come on, those were some great saves, right? Yeah, Diego Perella, which goalkeeper doesn't make mistakes? I get that we should support him because he's already shown many times that he's a committed, dedicated, and competent professional. I agree. I'm a fan of Rossi, okay? And you'll see me defending Rossi a lot because, man, for me, Rossi is responsible, like I said, for Flamengo's most recent major titles, okay? Yeah, Savio Araujo, football is really ungrateful. So many times he's been the savior, and even in games where he made mistakes, okay? Yeah, I think so too. Sometimes it's ungrateful, right? Most of the time it is, and he saved much more than he messed up. he made very few mistakes. It happens. Every goalkeeper makes mistakes, right? Kevin Vieira, he seems to be down because he wasn't called up for the Argentine national team, not even on the preliminary list. They didn't put him among 6 goalkeepers, okay? And people are talking, I thought so too. That's an important issue to bring up. I consider that comment perfect. For me, Rossi is feeling the fact that he wasn't even included in the preliminary list of 6 goalkeepers. I think he felt really unappreciated, really screwed over. That kind of thing really messes with a guy's head, but he'll bounce back. And the best away team in the Brazilian Championship never gives up. 63% success rate and only 2 losses playing away from home in the Brasileirão. It's the team that wins the most away games. It's the team with the best success rate. So Flamengo has a 63% success rate. Flamengo lost to São Paulo and lost to Bragantino 2-1 and 3-0. Those were the only losses. There are 5 away wins. 2-1 against Vitória, 3-0 against Botafogo, 2-1 against Fluminense, 4-0 against Atlético Mineiro, and 1-0 against Grêmio. There are 2 draws, 1-1 with Corinthians and 1-1 with Atlético Paranaense. So Flamengo under Leonardo Jardim. Also, some of these games with Felipe Luis, achieving an impressive record and being the best away team in the Brasileirão. And even facing, tough atmospheres, right? Like the home field, right? Synthetic turf. Leonardo Jardim talked about that. For sure, in our stadium, we want to have better quality of play. It doesn't justify the loss in the Copa do Brasil, but it was a field that doesn't allow for the best soccer. This synthetic turf is at the limit of its use. They even told me it's going to be replaced. It looks more like a house carpet than a soccer field. That's why they're going to change it. The arrival of more technical players we have from abroad, Plata, Jorginho, and Paquetá, after the hit he took today, I don't know if he'll be available. We're going to try to recover that because we have more technical players and the quality of the game is also better. And that's fundamental to our idea. So Flamengo is being harmed by everything, including this ridiculous pitch, right? From Atlético Paranaense, it looks like carpet, as Boto and Leonardo Jardim said. Yeah, Jardim also criticized the refereeing. It's important for us to mention that, right? I'm straightforward about this. I just make comparisons. Look at Carrascal's scissors tackle. We had 2 or 3 like that with no calls. Everton was sent off against Corinthians for a situation that today, under the same rule, would have meant 2 opponents being sent off. I'm not here to comment, but I believe teams have exploited the chance to be more aggressive outside the rules to foul Flamengo players. They're letting it happen. They're letting them foul as much as they want. And Leonardo Jardim is speaking out, exposing everything, denouncing that the officiating against Flamengo are letting the opponents foul them. We have 7 players out, 4 or 5 with traumatic injuries, 5 fractures. With fractures, yeah, he spoke similarly to Mr., but instead of fractures, he used the term traumatic injuries. So, yeah, Jardim made it clear that the referees are letting Flamengo's players get hit, which is absurd. It's a disgrace, right? And we have to complain. And it's not a coincidence, okay? It's not a coincidence. I'm already sure of that, and you too, Flamengo fan, you must be as well. Flamengo becomes the second team with the most red cards in the Brasileirão. 5 red cards for Flamengo. Yeah, Flamengo is the second team with the most red cards in the Brazilian league. Meanwhile, on the other side, they haven't even had a penalty called against them. And they're among the teams that get the fewest red cards. It's true. Shameful, right, man? It's surreal. Just look at that. With Danilo sending off against Atlético Paranaense, Flamengo became the second team with the most red cards in this edition of the Brazilian Championship. Flamengo had 5 players sent off. Jorginho against São Paulo was absurd. Everton Araujo against Corinthians was absurd. Polgar against Red Bull Bragantino, okay? Carrascal against Fluminense, okay? And Danilo against Atlético Paranaense. Those guys deserved much more to be sent off in much worse plays. Danilo could have been sent off, okay? But the Atlético Paranaense players, much worse. Right. And those guys are ignoring it. It's shameful, man, shameful. We're watching, we see what's happening. And it's dirty, right, man? It's dirty what they're doing. And Thiago Asmar Pilhado is there with more than almost 800,000 views. It's going to hit 1 million. He's collaborating with us. Look at what Pilhado said, guys. Check it out.
It's not the first time Rafael Klein has harmed Flamengo.
That's it. It has to be said.
This guy was crucial today in making sure Flamengo didn't turn the match around against Atlético Paranaense. Because if Flamengo had one more player for a whole half and a bit, Flamengo probably would have turned the game around, probably would have closed the gap with Palmeiras even more. And once again, this referee here, and this needs to be said, hurts Flamengo. One thing that also needs to be remembered is that tomorrow there's a call-up for the Brazilian national team.
In other words,
you can't let Flamengo, you can't let the CBF ignore this issue. Tomorrow, everyone will only discuss the Brazilian national team. Flamengo has to demand something from the CBF so that something is said about this referee who was right there. He was right there.
Right next to the action, watching. And there was Alexandros too. It has to be Alexandro too.
The VAR ignored it.
Which was cowardly, hurting Flamengo.
I just want to see what the CBF is going to do. Shameful.
Hurting Flamengo.
I just want to see what the CBF's going to do.
Me too. I just want to see. That's it, my friends. It's not a coincidence. Like we were saying, Thiago Asmar is absolutely right about this. That's it. Pilhado is totally right. I want to invite you then to make sure you're at Flamengo's games with Caravana do Haroldo. You can secure your spot right now at Mango's games and in Rio de Janeiro with the ticket included, hospitality service, with the ticket from Caravana do Haroldo. And also to remind you who wants to lose weight in a healthy way, that Mais Cabello has the Mais Slim program. And also, look at this, man. I'm starting to grow new hair, right? Growing with the ExoMais program, okay? The ExoMais program from Mais Cabello. Thank God my hair was getting really thin. Now it's getting much better with the ExoMais program from Mais Cabello. Everything is in the description, pinned comment. Get the best treatments now. We're in this together. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Greetings, red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Big hug and thanks. I'm out.